And the U.S. city of Charlottesville is on the edge as the city marks a year since a white supremacist rally turned violent, eventually killing 3 people. People took to the streets in the city calling for an end to racism. Far-right groups have not announced any events in Charlottesville, but the situation in the town, famous for housing the University of Virginia campus, remained tense. Members of Antifa and anti-fascist group marched through the streets of Charlottesville to pay homage at a makeshift memorial for Heather Heyer, an activist who was killed last year in the clashes. Mother of Heather Heyer said that the hate crimes were still alive in the United States.
Heather's not the first person that's killed in a hate crime. She's not the first person killed in an act of random intention. She was not assassinated. She was not singled out. She was not somebody they even knew. He just drove his car into a crowd. She was the one who died. He intended to kill more, in my opinion, but only one was actually killed.
Last year, hundreds of white supremacists descended on Charlottesville town in Virginia state to protest against the removal of a statue honoring a pro-slavery Confederate commander in what they called Unite the Right rally. Counter-protests were then organized against that rally, and the eventual clashes between the two groups turned deadly when a suspected white nationalist crashed his car into a crowd of counter-protesters. Security has also been beefed up in the U.S. capital of Washington, D.C., as the white supremacists who organized last year's far-right rally in Charlottesville town of Virginia have received a permit to stage a white civil rights rally in front of the White House in Washington, D.C.
We know that we have people coming to our city for the sole purpose of spewing hate. 1 year after the tragedy that took place in Charlottesville, many of us still feel the anger and sadness at what we saw in our country. We remember seeing burning tiki torches. We remember Heather Heyer. It didn't make sense last year, and it doesn't make sense now. We, the people of Washington, D.C., say unequivocally that we denounce hate, we denounce anti-Semitism, and we denounce the rhetoric that we expect to hear this Sunday.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump urged Americans to condemn the racism. He tweeted, and I'm quoting, "The riots in Charlottesville a year ago resulted in senseless death and division. We must come together as a nation. I condemn all types of racism and acts of violence. Peace to all Americans."